Hi, everyone. This is Sheila Butler with Successful Women Talk. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Today on the show, we have guest Debbie Saviano. Now, Debbie has been a guest on the show before, and we've been able to share her amazing story, and I will link that interview up in the show notes. But today we have Debbie on the show because we're going to talk in depth about LinkedIn. She's a thought leader and influencer on the LinkedIn platform, and we really wanted to give you guys a chance to learn more about the power of LinkedIn. So we asked Debbie to join us. So hi, Debbie.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on again. I certainly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, listen, like I said, you're kind of well known. You've made an entire career, second career. You were in education and stuff before. We'll talk about that. We'll link that up in the show notes. But
Okay.
you have now started a new career, and you are a thought leader on the platform of LinkedIn. So tell us a little bit, just quickly and briefly, about how you got started in LinkedIn, and then we'll get into kind of the meat of the course.
Okay, perfect. Well, like everyone else, I started playing with social media, if you will, after I retired from education. Not as old as that makes me sound, but anyway, and started getting involved with it, researching it. Spent about a year and a half doing that. And all of a sudden, one day, someone messaged me and said, "Can you do for me what you've done for you?" And I went, "Oh my gosh, there's a niche here." So started doing LinkedIn, and as with anything, it's so organic, it's so continually changing, that I got involved with all aspects of it, because you can't just do one. You have to have a presence out there everywhere. But LinkedIn is my baby. I love LinkedIn, probably because of the professional platform that it is from my own background. But that's how I got started.
Well, I love that. And for those of you, I can't imagine no one not watching your first interview, but you kind of stumbled upon that, and then you really, really got into LinkedIn, and now you've created a business around it. You're actually teaching other people how to do that, and pretty soon you're going to have a course coming out in that. We'll talk about it as well. But before we do that, let's jump back and what is truly LinkedIn? And I think a lot of people know what it is, but it is much more powerful than I think what a lot of us realize.
Right. Well, I think because of my background in education, I've got a different perspective on that. And I always tell people the little mini disclaimer: if you're talking to 4 social media people, strategists, experts, whatever, you're going to get 4 different opinions or ideas. The reason for that is they base their own background on it. For example, mine's education and minor in psychology. If you're thinking social media and you're on Facebook, I love Facebook, please don't misunderstand, but if you're on Facebook, it's social. So your mind is thinking social. For your mind to switch from social and the party next week, or the pictures from the birthday or whatever, over to professional, it's very challenging. So therefore, on LinkedIn, when you go there, you're totally in a mindset of business. You don't go there thinking about the next party or the next get-together, reunion, whatever. You're thinking business 24/7 on LinkedIn. As soon as you click in, it's business. I think that's the biggest factor for LinkedIn, is that it is a virtual Rolodex of professionals, every industry across the globe. And it's an average income of $100,000 now. I mean, it's very high level professionals, but every industry is represented. So no matter what your niche market is, you can find them there.
I love that. And I love your point about, because I think sometimes, especially people just getting started in social media, and I was like this when I first started. I thought, well, I'm just going to join every platform and I should be there, and I can send the same message across every platform. And that's not how that really works. Your message should be tailored to each platform a little bit differently, and LinkedIn is more of a professional-based platform.
Exactly, because like if you're on Facebook, people are there thinking social, so you want to come from that standpoint. When you're on LinkedIn, if you do that, you're going to be cut off immediately. And so you're right, you want to target your message to your target market, but also to the social media platform that you're on. And not everybody needs every platform. It depends on where they are. Now, they want to have a presence there, but what they do there is going to be different. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've made a decision for 2013. I'm going to kind of switch up. I have a LinkedIn profile. It's quite embarrassing, but after this, I'm going to update it, and then we're going to show it as an example. And then I'm on Pinterest, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter. I find that I enjoy Twitter the most. Facebook is okay, but it's just almost a little bit too birthday party-ish and social for me. But 2013, I am really going to focus on nothing but Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm really going to beef up my LinkedIn, because that's, as being a business consultant, as far as systems and business consulting goes in general, I think that's where I need to be versus the social.
Exactly. And I will tell you, and I joke with this when I first started, I might have said this in the first interview, but my very first people who hired me were marketing people who had not kept up with LinkedIn, but people were wanting to hire them. Well, where's the first thing you go if you're going to hire someone? You go to LinkedIn to check them out. I don't care what industry it is or what position it is, you're going to LinkedIn. So to have a strong profile is critical. So I used to call myself a ghostwriter the first 6 months because that's what I did. I did their profile under the, auspices that it was them doing it. So you're right. You've got to have a strong profile.
Yeah.
It's like your business card. If you go to an event and you have a piece of paper and it's just got your name scribbled on, you hand it and say, here's my business card. What do you think they're going to think? Yeah, right. It's like the sign posted on the telephone pole on the street. So you have to have a professional business card for public meetings, but also on the virtual Rolodex, which is what LinkedIn is.
I love that. Well, let's jump in. I know we have some notes that you sent over, and we're going to go through those, but let's kind of go through what you think everyone needs to know as far as LinkedIn and how they can improve their LinkedIn profile in general.
Okay. There are 5 things I kind of want to talk about, because if you just look at it from the standpoint of having a strong let's assume you've got your profile set up. The most valuable real estate on LinkedIn, the most valuable, I don't care who you read, we're all in agreement with this, is your headline. And if you look at the default for LinkedIn, it says job title. So most people would say VP of sales, or they would say event coordinator or whatever. But what does that mean? You're talking to your target market. So when someone comes to your LinkedIn profile, it's not about Sheila and it's not about Debbie. It's about what we can do for the person who's visiting that target market. So every position within LinkedIn, think about who are you talking to. So always keep that in the foremost of your mind, because you want to be in character, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you want to send your image and your message to whoever's visiting.
Gotcha.
So your headline is critical. I think it's 120 characters that you can put up there.
Should it include your keywords?
Absolutely. And again, I always tell people, if you're wanting keywords totally, I'm not your gal, because I'm a relationships person. But also, I know you have to put them in there. So yes, for example, if you do weddings, event coordinator, you better have weddings up there, because you might be bar mitzvahs if you don't say to someone. You want to be unique in what you're offering, but absolutely. And throughout your profile, you want to say those keywords. Just like when you're in those different platforms, you also want to use those same keywords in your conversations.
Like on Twitter, you see a lot of fun and snarky little, I guess, profile headline of who you are, but it needs to be probably a little bit more professional on the LinkedIn side, because it's more of a professional platform.
I would say yes. However, with that, I'll, add a little addition to that, depending upon what you're doing, who your target market is.
Okay.
For example, whoever it is you're speaking to, it has to speak to them.
Okay.
So in that regard, sometimes quirky may be okay if that's your target market.
Okay. Perfect.
Great question.
So headline is key.
Headline is key. It's absolutely key. And then the other thing that's really important with your profile is when you scan down, I call that your little business card at the top, the little button where it says contact information, you can click on that. A lot of people don't take advantage of putting in their websites or putting in their Twitter handle or whatever. You have 3 websites you can add there. It could be all the same website. Successful Women Talk. You could have it in 3 different places, just with different tabs for each one.
Gotcha.
For shows, sign up, latest review, whatever. But it's all the same website. It's just different
URLs.
Exactly.
I love that, because I find that on Facebook, a lot of people have their personal account and then they have their business account, and they don't link them. They don't put the URL in their about area that's visible. Right. I think that is, you're just missing huge opportunities. So we're probably the same thing in LinkedIn.
Yes. Always, you want everything to tie back. And you talked about Twitter. I do Twitter. I enjoy Twitter, but it's not as much of my interest, obviously, because of LinkedIn. I do Pinterest a lot. But I still utilize it. But you want to make sure that every image and every message is consistent across every platform. Because what happens is when they see you in one platform, you want them to immediately recognize you. You'll notice mine has the same picture, same keywords, same headline everywhere across the board.
Yeah.
You don't want people to get confused. It's chaotic out there. So don't make it confusing for them.
I love that. And I think that's key because, and I love that photo of you because I can be quickly scanning something, whether that be Facebook or Twitter. And I sometimes I don't look at the name, I look at the photo. And when they don't match up across the different platforms, it is very confusing.
Right. Because you're so busy, your mind's doing 1,000 things. And so you don't want to add something else to it.
I see that photo and I stop. Oh, yeah. I need to read that post or whatever.
For sure. And you do the same thing with yours. You have the same picture. Mm-hmm. And that's real important because you want people to always recognize Sheila, even if they haven't met Sheila in person. They've met you online.
Right.
Virtually, they've met you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google plus your everything. But I think there's 5 things if you'd like me just to share is about things you can do once you're on LinkedIn from a business perspective. I think would be really helpful for your guests.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I got my other computer sitting here, but we're going to go across the top bar with your LinkedIn profile. So you're signed into your profile. At the very top, very first left side is the home. So if you click on the home, LinkedIn home, you have the opportunity to either comment on one of those articles. LinkedIn, they have given that activity feed. They prioritize some things for you there. So you can take that and you can comment on different stories or things that are happening. That then now, thanks to LinkedIn's new updates, which they're doing a phenomenal job for professionals. It's front and center. It's right underneath your business card. So all your activity goes there. It also goes within your feed. So it continually rotates. People can comment on it. People can respond, to it. They can share it. They can like it. So taking advantage of that LinkedIn home is really easy. You can do it 5 minutes the first thing of every day. Do something, and it shows on that activity feed plus on your profile.
Let me ask you this. So let's say that I post something on my website, and I want to send a link over to LinkedIn. Does that show up there on that page?
Yes, there's a place where it says add link. You can add the link, put the URL in. Like I'll do this for this show when you give me all the information, then I'll do the same thing on there.
Gotcha. That
way then, I'll post it. You can comment if you want to. My people see it. Your people see it. So it just continually evolves out into the universe. Yes, you can definitely want to add the link when you have it.
Perfect.
But you can also follow thought leaders and influencers. I love Richard Branson. I'm such a Richard Branson fan. And he does a great job with social media. And so you can follow him and make comments on articles and things he's posted.
I see.
As well as, gazillion other people, whoever your people are that you follow. So.
Perfect.
And then the second one would be recommendations. Okay, so you're at the top of your profile.
Okay.
You see the profile there. Go to recommendations. Choose some people, and I suggest you always have a list of people who you'd like to recommend. Okay, so you go to those individuals, and then you make a recommendation. This does several things. It gets your picture, your headline in front of Sheila or whoever it is you're doing, plus the recommendation is always on their profile.
So you're kind of cross-linking your stuff to their page by doing them a favor of...
By complimenting them. Absolutely.
By
complimenting them. By saying, Sheila, I think you have an awesome radio show, which I do. You know that I've told you that many times. You're very, very visible out there. So when I do that for you after this, that's going to be my way of saying thank you to you for your great show you have. But it's double-edged in helping both sides. Absolutely. And people don't take advantage of recommendations. And you don't have to say a lot. Another thing you mentioned about keywords, you want to have certain keywords in that recommendation that refer back to you, but at the same time complimenting the individual.
Okay.
So think about that when you're talking. I'm writing a recommendation for Sheila, but at the same time, when I'm talking about Sheila, I'm also talking about what I do because that's why you and I connected.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So recommendations are a great way to do it. Also, people worry, and different people do this differently. It has to be whatever feels good about your core. But when you do a recommendation, you can also, at the end when you sign off, a lot of people put the rest of their signature there. So then that shows up. Again, that's a choice, a personal choice, and it depends on your market and stuff, but it's a possibility. Groups, oh my gosh, groups are like the best thing since sliced bread. And I give the example, groups are like, what's happened with LinkedIn is because you still have traditional thinking, people haven't switched their mindset. So they think, okay, instead of sending out flyers to every door in the neighborhood or every car or every mail or whatever, I'm going to do that on LinkedIn. So they just go to the groups and they do all these things. They're basically door-to-door salesmen on LinkedIn. People don't want that.
Right.
So You see that and you click off of it, right? You don't even pay attention to it. But if you go to groups and you post positive content, you're just making deposits. And you've heard me talk about this before, but with deposits, you're not asking anything in return. And so it begins to send a message of, hey, she's going to say something really cool, or he's going to offer good advice. He's not wanting me to do anything. A lot of times people will put, and this is, again, this has to be a personal choice, but they'll put a link back to an article. People are busy. Very few people are going to take time to click that and go read it. They're too busy. It could be the best article in the world. So if you can do something in 2 sentences that offers value to the reader, you've given a gift with asking nothing in return. So going to groups, and again, you can do that in three minutes, literally. Just have your groups list, go down each day and post something. You know, last year I did this, and I'm going to do it again this year. I posted 2012 has arrived. My 3 words are, what 3 words will define you? I got hundreds of responses. Hundreds.
I love that.
They're 3 words. And so then I kept those 3 words within the system so I could always remember that. But people want to be challenged, but they don't want to have to spend a lot of time doing it.
Oh, yeah. You find that is interesting that you make that point because, excuse me, a lot of people are getting to where the shorter the blog post, the better they like it. We just don't have time.
Exactly. We're multitasking.
Yeah, we want information, but no, I personally don't have time to sit down and read a 4,000 word blog post. That's
why the cheat sheets and the quick tips and the different things like that. I mean, Cliff Notes. Let's face it, those of us who are the Cliff Note generation, that's why we liked Cliff Notes. We wanted the content, we wanted the information, but we didn't have 5 hours to read the English book.
Exactly. Don't tell my English teacher that, but yes.
I'm a former educator. I can't believe I'm saying that. But that's reality, right?
It is reality. And everyone's going mobile. It has to be, have access on your mobile and easy to read and easy to follow.
Absolutely. The other thing, a fourth thing that that's recently new, thanks to LinkedIn, and again, they're always analyzing and evaluating how they can help professionals more. I don't think any other platform does it to the extent that LinkedIn does. They now have the skills where you can endorse. And so first of all, you want to make sure you have skills on your profile. You talk about the value of providing information. You have to show the skills for people to go in and be able to endorse you. LinkedIn does give you a back door to do that if they don't have it. But all you do is you go to your profile, scroll down to your skills. And of course, next to it's going to have all the little pictures. As again, that image is so important. You have all the little pictures. And so I can see, okay, so John endorsed me today. So I hover over John. It's going to show a little box. The first thing I do is I go to John's profile. I see how I can endorse him. And again, that takes some time because you want to be authentic about it. Then I endorse him in 2 to 3, 4 things. Then I go back to him, send a message, which is at the top of the profile, and say to him, John, first of all, thank you so much for endorsing me. I also endorsed you. Now, if what I endorsed you for is not the skills you're wanting to highlight, please let me know. You literally copy and paste that and just make a few adjustments and do 5 people in one sitting. It takes you 15 minutes. But you've given all 5 of those people another reminder because, see, they'll get, first of all, on their profile, it'll show it, but he'll also get an email.
Oh, great.
Pardon me, that says I've endorsed him for these skills. That's why the picture, the headline, the consistency is so critical because that's continually going out. And you don't want him to be looking at 3 different pictures or 3 different headlines.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this, Debbie. You go to a lot of networking events. I mean, I love seeing all the things that you do. Do you meet a lot of those people through LinkedIn? Is that where you do most of that networking?
Love you asking that. People always say one-on-one is better. And I couldn't agree more. I love people, and you and I, we both know that. But we live in a much more global society than we used to. We can Skype now. We can see each other face to face. Last year in the fall, I met a young woman in Dallas at an event. She lives in Slovenia. Now, you'll probably have to look up Slovenia. It's a country east of Italy. It's a real small little country. She and I have stayed connected on LinkedIn and everything, and we've talked. Well, about a month ago, she and I had a Skype call. Okay. So, yes, you meet those people, and then you continue the conversations. That's why I always say, continuing the conversation. Sometimes you meet them online first, and then you meet them in person.
Right.
But you wouldn't have met them had it not been sometimes for LinkedIn. Because I meet so many people there, And many times I get to meet them in person, sometimes I don't. But that doesn't mean I won't next year. Who knows? Yeah. And the other thing, too, is you always tell people where you are and what you're doing. That's why I'm always posting that stuff. And people will reach out to you and say, hey, I see you're going to be here. And, of course, now with you know, that LinkedIn's taken off the events feature, but there's other ways that you can always stay connected. So, yeah.
Terrific. All right, so
go ahead.
Are we at number 4? So that was number 4.
That was number 4. And then let me turn my old page here. I'm on the computer too. The other thing that a lot of times people usually just take and go by step how something tells us to do it.
Right.
Because again, we're busy and it's easy. The other thing that's such an easy thing to do is the inbox. Okay, every time someone connects with you, you get an email and it says, Debbie you're now connected. Well, most people just say great and they go on. Well, what if you took 2 extra minutes, you go into their profile, you look at them again, because let's face it, we have so many connections. We're so full in our minds to remind you who the person is and what they do. You could endorse them, or you could just send a message to them and say, hi, Sheila, it's so great to be connected, and say something personal about them from their profile. I have almost never not been able to find at least 1 connection. Usually it's 3, where they went to college, where they grew up, what their interests are, etc. And so you say that most people do not take advantage of sending back a message. And so to do that is huge when you have that invite. The other thing is, because people realize the value of LinkedIn, with the inbox, you can now send group messages. And we're all getting a lot of those. Most of them don't pertain to anything I want. However, what I do oftentimes is I'll choose 2 or 3. I'll send a message back and I'll say, congratulations, Jose, on your new book you have coming out. And I'll say something positive about that just because it's a nice thing to do, but to continue the conversation with them.
I love that. You know, it's funny because I don't do that. So I'm being honest here, and I should. As I said, I don't use LinkedIn as I should. 2013, it's going to be a different story. But you know, like I find it very important when someone leaves a post on my blog, a comment on my blog, I always go back and comment. I mean, that's very important to me. This is the same thing.
Yes.
It is because I'm trying to build that relationship. This is the same thing, and I just didn't see that as I should have.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not that anyone intentionally does it. It's just they don't realize the whole value of it. Because we are about conversing. We are about relationships and continuing conversations. So that's one of the reasons I think that's so important, is to take time to do that.
You know, I continue to say, everybody's like, social media is this amazing thing, and I think it is, but I think social media has taken the place of the phone and the water cooler. We still want to build relationships.
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing to me.
It's just different in how we do it.
Exactly.
And that's why it's a mind shift switch for people. And a lot of times people say, oh, well, I still think you should do this, and I think you should still phone call. I mean, how many of us have a landline? We haven't had a landline for 3 years. Seriously.
Exactly.
And so we have to get on the bus, because the bus is, the train's left the depot. So take advantage of social media to be able to do that. So
exactly. I love that.
Yeah. So, and then, just knowing that when you're out there, regardless of what platform you're on, you're always in the mindset of who you are and what you do and what you represent. I don't care what platform it is. Google Plus, it doesn't matter. I'm always Debbie. I'm always a certain image. And I keep that in mind, because if I don't, then I don't provide that consistency to whoever it is. Because that might be the first time they've seen me.
Right.
On that platform. So that clarity is critical and is very, very important.
And you know what I love is you're the same person. When I first saw, I think I saw your profile, we met somehow on one of the social media sites. You are exactly how I thought you would be, because of the way your profile is set up, the verbiage that you use, all of it is exactly, which is great, because sometimes you meet someone online and then you meet them in person and you're like, oh, they're not what I thought. They are. The message is a little different. You are that same person all the way across. I love that.
Well, and that's so funny, Sheila, because when someone first hires me, they'll say, well, what do you think about my profile? Of course, they're hiring me because of that. The picture is always the biggest issue, especially with women. Oh, my gosh, especially with women. And they'll say, what do you think? And I'll say, here's what I'm going to say. If someone meets you in person, they have to be able to recognize you. And if they can't recognize you, your picture's not good, okay? That's the first thing. Because women want a lot of times, we want to have this picture that's 5 or 10 years old. Well,
get rid of all of this.
Exactly. Well, there's ways to do that nowadays. But so that picture is critical. And so, as you said, so is what you're saying. You want that to be consistent. So thank you. I work hard at trying to make sure I do that.
You set a good example.
Yes, yes. And I think that's what's really important. And you hear people talk about authenticity and transparency and being who you are. And a lot of times that's a really good point with Facebook, for example. I have a business Debbie Savion and I have a personal Debbie Savion. No one wants to be on the professional. They want the personal. And it goes back to what you said. We all still want the relationships. And I think people know that's more authentic and it's you. And people's first reaction is, well, what if there's something there I don't want people to see? Or what if it's embarrassing? I said, you know what? To me, that just makes you more real. We all have crazy family. We all have funny things that happen in our life. We all have relationship issues. And so when you see that, it's like, well, hey, she really is a real person. She gets me. She understands me. And people will say, well, you know, I share that. And I'm like, you know, I think that makes us more accepting of a society.
Yeah.
Because we're more open to seeing and doing things. So I'm very much open to doing that.
And you're nicer than me because I think, well, don't post embarrassing things on Facebook then. Some people post things. I'm like, did you really just post that? Exactly. Everyone's going to see that from now on.
Exactly. Well, see, that's me. I'm not posting it, but it's someone who's connected to me who is. But that's my point is we all have those people in our lives. And so, you know, yes, you're right. I think it's very important to be transparent, to be authentic of who you are. And I always tell people what you see is what you get. That is who I am. And,
I'm the same way. I am exactly the way I am today. If you met me on the street tomorrow, that's just who I am.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. So always remember to stay in character and to stay who you are, because sometimes, you know how if you go to a family reunion, let's say you're from the deep South, okay, and the language, and I don't say this with disrespect, I say it with affection, but it's much more relaxed as how we say things or how you might, you know, express yourself. And when we try to be a little bit more dignified when we're out in public, the y'alls we accept, but all the little sayings that your grandparents say as far as how cold it is outside or whatever, you don't say those other places. So always staying and remembering what image it is you really want your person to be, who it is you want people to know you as.
I like that.
I think that's important. I think that's very important. So to stay consistent with that. And again, I think in the beginning we might have talked about this, but used to ROI was return on investment, and it's still return on investment. It's always about the bottom line. However, today it's about influence. It's about your social proof and how much people see you out there. That's why I got the first job I got. But they saw me out there doing certain things. If I hadn't have been out there, that person would have never connected me. I might not even be doing what I'm doing today.
Exactly.
Had it not been for that. So influence is everything. And you only get influence if you're out there and you're visible.
I agree. Love that.
Yeah, so for sure. So, and we didn't say anything about Pinterest, but if people aren't doing Pinterest, I highly recommend it. I'm going to give you a reason why. Pinterest, as we all know, is huge, but it's mainly women. Men are starting to figure that out and are getting active on it. However, you might have someone on Pinterest. They're not active anywhere else, but they're very active on Pinterest. So if they see you there, that might be the doorway that opens up to a relationship with you. So because it is so visual, because it's such eye candy and it's so addictive, you can get on that thing and just stay for hours. But you're able to share your message in totally a visual way.
Exactly.
So, and that resonates with a lot of people. So I highly encourage people to consider that if they haven't already considered.
I agree.
It's about online presence. That's what it's all about. Just like what you and I are doing.
Exactly. And building relationships that will eventually lead to, business. That's what we're all here for. And better relationships.
Absolutely. But that's the thing. A lot of times I think women struggle with this more than men. Women, for some reason, you and I don't, but a lot of women say, well, should I say that we are all in sales and we are all in business. And if we're not going to be successful.
Exactly.
I'm proud of what I do. You're proud of what you do. We all should be proud of it and want to share it and make that a successful business, because then you can do all these other things that you couldn't have done without that success. You and I both have met some of the most incredible people we would never have met.
Exactly.
Had it not been for our business. So
I agree.
Loud and proud to say that I'm really into wanting to be a successful businesswoman. That's what I strive to do.
It's a huge part of who I am.
Absolutely. And you do more than one thing. You've got several gifts and talents.
I'm crazy.
Well, that's good, though. That's good. Multitasking for the business side.
Exactly.
For sure. So what did I not answer or say about that?
So we went across the top and then we got to the inbox and group messages. We were talking about groups. And does that cover all of the 5 topics that we're?
Yeah. Yes, we did. We did the LinkedIn home. We did the groups. We did the profile for recommendations, and we did it for endorsements again.
Gotcha.
And then we did for inbox for messages and invites. And again, if you just take, that's one of the things I'm working on with the course I'm doing, is that showing people how simple it is to go in and do that within 5 minutes, because we're all busy.
Right.
But just taking that 5 minutes and reaching out to someone can really exponentially create huge business opportunities for you.
Exactly.
That takes time.
It does, but I think you have to be able to invest.
Yes.
You know, I could spend a lot of time looking at Pinterest. I love Pinterest.
Yes.
I love the recipes. I love looking at different home things, but I can get sucked in there. So you've got to spend time somewhere. So I think it's just picking your battles, picking which time you're going to spend well and where,
right,
and making it happen for you.
Well, and that's one of the things, Sheila, that this is probably my education background, but when I go in to do something, I have a very strategic focus. I make it look relaxed. I make it look casual, but it is come in, get the job done, and get out because I've got something else to do. So if you have a strategic focus and a purpose for being there, then you don't get sidetracked. Because if you don't, you do get sidetracked.
Right.
And
it can suck you in if you're not careful.
Very much suck you in.
Go in with the plan.
Right. And
I love that.
Start with your top navigation bar. Say, today I'm doing LinkedIn Home. That's all I'm doing. I'm going in, finding one article. I'm commenting on that article. I'm sharing one article, and I'm out. And then you're on to the next thing. But what happens to us is we get off on all these little shiny syndromes because there's so much out there.
Right.
But having that focus and that target makes it a lot easier.
Let me ask you, now there is a difference between just a free LinkedIn account and a professional account, correct?
Right, yes, there is. Okay, that's a great question. Up until about probably 6 to 8 weeks ago, the first time you and I talked, I had basic. And I very rarely recommend to one of my clients to go to the paid version. If you're in search of a position, a job, you definitely want to go for that because LinkedIn's got some incredible features for job hunters or for someone looking for employees. If you don't have that, for most individuals can get by with the basic. They really, there's so much that you can do with a basic program. And I always give that little disclaimer, that could change tomorrow. But right now, I would say, I hate to say over 95%, but most people don't need the paid version.
Oh, good. I mean, I'm glad you said that because you never know. Am I missing something? Would I be more visible if I was on the professional version? And
here's what I say to people. You will know when you're missing something.
Gotcha.
But up until that point, and I knew exactly what it was. For me personally, it was I had so many people viewing my profile and some different things taking place there. But because I was on the basic, I only got to see a portion of that.
I see.
So, and I knew, my gut told me immediately, well, wait a minute, if I could see all those people, so you'll know.
Good.
You'll know.
What about this? I hear that the search function within LinkedIn is very powerful.
Oh, my goodness. See, and again, we may have talked about this before, but Career Ladder, I shouldn't say names, but anyway, a lot of the different organizations, companies, businesses that have looking for employees, if you will, they're not even needed now because you don't need to go through that middleman. That's a middleman. You can go directly to LinkedIn, search based on keywords, and get whoever it is you're looking for. Search it. That's why keywords are important. It's also why it's important to put in all the content about what you are, what solutions you offer, what value you bring to your target market. But yes, huge. Their advanced search is amazing what you can do.
Terrific. Hey, listen, I know you have a course coming out. And why don't we talk about that just a little bit and talk about your service? Because as we mentioned, a lot of people are busy and maybe some people don't either want to or don't have the time to go in and fix their own profile. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. I do both things. I do an individual's profile. And what that means is that I totally take it and redesign it. And the reason for that is two things. One is most people are not comfortable promoting themselves. They're just not.
That's true.
And so as a result of that, they don't say everything that they need. You'd be surprised at things I learned about people when I interview them to do the profile. I'm like, why would you not have shared that? I had a woman who spoke 5 languages and she didn't have it on there.
Women are really, we don't toot our own horn enough.
No, we don't. And so I said, if I spoke 2 languages, I'd have it on there, much less 4 or 5. And so I interview them, I get all that, then I design the profile. So that's one aspect of what I do. And you don't do anything. And the reason for that is because you realize that you need someone else with a different perspective to bring it in. Then once it's done, then we sit down and go through and say, okay, well, this works. What about this? I'd say 98% of it stays as I designed it. Then the second thing is, because a lot of people, it's an expensive process because it's a 3 to 4 week job for me to do that. Because I even research what industry they're in. I see what other people are saying, what other people are doing, who's researching, who's searching. If they can't afford that, which totally understand that, then people start asking. So I'm doing a course, starts January 14th. It's 4 weeks. The first four Mondays, it'll be a live, like we're doing now. And I'll go through the steps. I'll start with the headline and go all the way through the profile, step by step, telling people to the extent of giving suggestions and ideas on types of headlines.
Oh, great.
Put for your websites, what to put in the summary, just every feature, everything within LinkedIn. And it's a 4-week course. I'll give the information. I'm struggling with if I'm going to give it all at once or by the week. Personally, I'd like to give it all at once, but because LinkedIn's making some changes, I'm afraid if I give it out, it'll change in the middle. So
Gotcha.
each week it'll be totally updated to make sure this is what's happening right now. The beauty of that is their own profile will be done when we finish the course, but also they'll have the skill set to be able to do it themselves and to help someone they in turn might be working with as well.
Terrific.
That's what I did.
Debbie, this has been a terrific conversation. Like I said, I need to get more active and update my profile on LinkedIn. 2013 is the year that I'm going to do that, and going to go based on a lot of the information that I've learned from you. So I really appreciate all that you do.
Well, the feeling is totally mutual, Sheila, and I love talking to you, and you have such a positive energy. I said that to you all the time. I love your enthusiasm and your energy. So thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Successful Women Talk. Listen, a lot of people ask me, Sheila, how did you build a business from 0 customers in revenue to thousands of customers and multi-7 figures within a few short years? Here's the secret sauce. We had great products, excellent customer service, and we leveraged, this is key, we leveraged our systems and processes. If you want to learn more about this or how to reclaim your time, join me over at www.successfulwomentalk.com, and I'll show you how to get the life, business, and customers you want. Thanks so much.